Modern kids content. What a train wreck. I touched a bit about this in the last video about the Thomas and Magic Train situation, so if you didn't see that, please do watch. Now, full disclosure, I don't have children of my own. I'm also not around them a whole awful lot, but I do want to be a dad one day, and I'm the kind of person who likes to know what I'm getting into well before I do it. So when it comes up, I do read articles related to raising children and how it is nowadays being a parent. And I have learned a lot about the effects of media on a person's psyche, especially children. And I gotta tell you, the kind of stuff that's being peddled today is nothing short of poison. Sure, there are still good programs out there like Sesame Street's mental and emotional education, and Bluey's silly but relatively low stimulating shorts. But for every Bluey, there is about 10 Cocomelon clones that are scientifically proven to ruin children's developing minds. But something that I recently realized is that this is not a brand new issue. Yes, streaming platforms as well as the increased internet access at younger ages has definitely expedited the problem, but it's still not brand new. Here's a quick example for you. The OG Power Rangers. The sound effects, the bright colors, the silly, obnoxious characters, as well as the fast-paced, over-the-top action scenes that make up about 60% of each episode, and you got yourself some neurological junk food. I'm not trying to dunk on anyone who loves that show and still has fond memories of it. Hell, I watched Power Rangers Samurai a lot when it came out. It's definitely not even close to as bad as some of the stuff that's out today. I'm just trying to make a point that even before YouTube and iPhones, we've had some issues with making children's content that isn't terrible for their developing minds. Which leads me to today's review, which is the 2005 straight-to-DVD classic, no, that's not it, straight-to-DVD film, Dinotopia, The Quest for the Ruby Sunstone. The only reason I know this movie actually exists is because I was obsessed with dinosaurs growing up, but I didn't have a lot of access to dinosaur media, at least none that I could handle at that age. My mom tried to put me on Jurassic Park, but after the guy got eaten off the toilet, I could not go any further. So a lot of niche stuff was in my DVD case, this being one of them. Before I get into the movie itself, I found out something interesting during research, and now I would like to share with the class. First off, this film is a Hallmark movie. Yes, the very same Hallmark that makes the greeting cards in the generic Christmas movies every single month. Even more though, this film is actually a reboot / spin-off of a Dinotopia show, also put together by Hallmark, which itself is based off a set of books, and there were even multiple video game adaptations of this IP. I don't know why I was never told this until I went digging for it. I'm here thinking, oh, there's not enough dinosaur movies in existence. There's a whole cinematic universe no one told me about. I just want to get that context out of the way because for the sake of this video, I'm not going to be touching on what the overarching franchise has done with the IP because I didn't know it existed. So you're gonna go in as blind as I did growing up. It helps though that this movie is like a soft reboot / sequel, so it gives you all the relevant lore and it leaves out the other stuff that you're not really gonna need. But this film ties in well with the theme of today's rant, because as I was watching this, I realized I will probably never show my future children this movie due to how dumb it is. Some aspects of this film have the capacity to be good, like the narrative. But the narrative is bogged down by these colorful characters that are painfully annoying and constantly doing way too much, all while not actually offering any sort of substance for their minds later on. I'm not saying all kids' content has to be educational, but you have to at least learn something. All stories have lessons, and kids' movies, lessons are important, and I don't see what the hell the lesson in this one is. But now that the foundation is set, let's talk plot. So this film starts off in a bold new way, with cheerful music as we pan to an orphanage, then introduce us to our main character, a 12-year-old orphan named Kex, as he packs up to ditch the orphanage.
I'm 12 now, and moms and dads want to adopt little kids just like you.
They do?
Mm-hmm. But when you get big like me, you don't get adopted so easy.
Never thought Hallmark would have the stones to teach children the harsh lesson of society and growing up, but here we are. Now, based on how he looks, you probably did not need me to specify what year this came out because he is the pinnacle of Y2K. The baggy pants, the shaved sides of his head, the skateboard. Bro is just some frosted tips and a spray tan away from being a cast member on Jersey Shore. Even has the perfect name for it, Kex.
Here goes nothing.
Never mind, this kid is way too white even for MTV. Now, I'm not surprised Hallmark didn't dish out the big bucks for something off of the early 2000s Hot 100 chart. But come on, this ain't it, bro. This royalty-free track is just so bland and it doesn't even fit the vibe of the scene. Dude just snuck out of an orphanage in the middle of the night and he's skateboarding around a city on a journey to start a new life on his own. This sounds like some tropical chase scene out of a Scooby-Doo episode. They really should have just bit the bullet and called up Avril Lavigne. So Kex ends up sneaking onto a cargo ship. The wits of a 12-year-old, everyone. Doubt he knows where that ship is going, or when it'll arrive, and I didn't see any real provisions in that backpack of his, but it's a dumb kids movie, so he's gonna do dumb kid stuff. Anyways, he sneaks onto one of the life rafts with ease, and the ship sets sail to his new life somewhere else. Movie over, right? Not this again.
I wish this boat would stop rocking.
Not how the ocean works, bro. Maybe if you actually thought about this for more than 5 minutes, you would know. Also, those moans. Ew. I also get motion sick. You will never catch me making a single noise like that, though. But the boat gets manhandled by Poseidon until the life raft Kex is in falls into the ocean, officially becoming a castaway. On the bright side, at least he's not sharing it with a tiger. Now we fade into Kex getting a mouthful on a beach, and we are just under 6 minutes into this film. We barely know anything about Kex other than he is a 12-year-old orphan fully embracing the look of a young Jared Leto, but we're in the shit now, so I guess we'll figure out his character as we go along. At least I hope.
What's your name?
I'm Kex Bradley. Why don't you come out so I can see you? Hey, that's mine. You're strong for a girl.
Gender's a spectrum, Kex, and besides, it's got nothing to do with anything in this case.
Hey, you're kinda cute.
Nope, 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 fuck off. I do not want to be talking about bestiality today. Shut this shit down immediately. But besides questionable dialogue, Kex is mostly freaked out to see living, breathing dinosaurs, which isn't really the right response. Personally, I'd be like, holy shit, they're still alive. Fuck yeah, bring me to the nearest iguanodon.
You know, I'm thinking it's a tall thing again, Shanice. You're just too much girl for most guys.
Hey, yo, that is a human child. And why is she blushing? After Kex calms down, the little Triceratops fills him in on where they are, the hidden island of Dinotopia. And I'm not gonna lie, folks, this place looks like the dream. It's like the Flintstones, but not 50s version of modern.
I'm 26.
You're maybe 12, 13 tops.
Cute. You are very cute for a human.
Stop! On another note, I thought Kex was a weird name, but at least that sounds sorta like a name and it's not a fucking number. But Kex decides that wherever he thought he was gonna end up is not gonna be nearly as cool as this place, so he settles in with his one personality trait. Am I crazy, or is this the exact same song they used the first time we saw Kex skating? Bro has a whole disc player and only one generic-ass song burnt into it? Come on, Hallmark! Anyways, when he finishes the set that would put Tony Hawk to shame, we meet another character who is a real enigma.
What are you doing? What is the matter with you? Look what you've done to this tide pool. How would you like it if someone tore up your home?
Well, to be fair, it's not like you could actually tell it was a tide pool from the angle of up. He also wasn't exactly able to steer on that thing or put the brakes on. Though clearly she's all talk because she is literally stomping around in it afterwards. Kex just skimmed the top of it, but Queen Kong here's taking it to the streets.
Sorry I snapped at you. We've lived side by side with the dinosaurs for centuries. Our ways work for us. We don't need modern ideas ruining things.
Well, I'll be damned. Looks like we found ourselves a blue-haired conservative woman. It's like a jackalope that's constantly arguing with themselves about abortion rights. So Mara and 26 take Kex to see more of the island, and we learn that 26 is actually not a Triceratops, but a Yaposaurus.
Okay. Are you two pulling my horns? This is gonna be great. The three of us together. This is probably the best idea since, I don't know, maybe the invention of fire. Kex, wait till you see the hatchery and the albagon. He's the most ancient dinosaur around. Totally cool guy.
You getting annoyed yet? If not, lucky you. And if you are, then I am so very sorry. Because this isn't the worst of it. The worst offender is yet to come, and for your convenience, I'll give you a warning when he's about to show up. We then run into these two, Roga and Thud, who are shoveling Dino Dookie. Mara mentions how they're always pissy, but I would be too if that was my job. I guess toilets are just too modern for these guys, even though they literally have beach volleyball. Anyways, the two have found a map, and considering what their day job is, this is basically a lottery ticket for them. So they search out and look for treasure.
Roga, maybe you could dig for a while now.
Can't. I've got a hangnail. Besides, you wouldn't ask a lady to do that kind of work, would you?
No, of course not. I'm asking you.
This has the exact same energy of the Lorax going, "That's a woman?" After some slapstick, they come across a rock. Unimpressive at first, except to Newman here. Then he breaks it open, revealing a glowing red gem inside. Pro tip, if you ever find a glowing rock, you now either have cancer, cannot have kids, or both. The gem reveals a secret passageway before falling down into an area with ancient ruins and statues and... Wait, are those Egyptian-styled statues? That's technically too modern for dinosaur people too, but I guess we don't care about that, huh? Roga seems to know a lot about the island's history though, as she points out that this must be the lost world beneath. I guess I was expecting just a little bit more creativity, but considering one dinosaur is a number and the other one is named after a sound effect, I think I just need to lower my expectations. But enough of what those doofuses are doing. Let's go see what the cool kids are doing. They go to an orphanage. Kex just seems to be destined to live as an orphan. He leaves one just to show up at another one. But we meet Mara's dad, John, who is also technically 26's dad, owner thing. So the way it works here is the eggs in this place are ones that are found abandoned, and these guys take care of them until a human is ready to adopt them, and they become, and I quote, sorrow partners for life. Now, I get if they were just like talking animals, because who wouldn't want talking animals? I just can't tell if this is like having a kid or a pet. And I hate that it's making me ask this question. Honestly though, I'm most confused with the fact that they have wheelbarrows and Gothic architecture. Seems kinda modern. We also learned that this whole system is the reason 26 has that name, because John got so used to calling her egg by the numeric system they have for organization that when she hatched, he just stuck with it. How inspired. All of a sudden though, the lights start to flicker. Wait, indoor lighting? No open flame? Pretty fucking modern. But they race up to the roof and meet this old fuck albagon next to a giant glowing rock that is also flickering.
The sunstones seem to be losing their power.
Why don't you just call a sunstone repairman or something?
I see we have a newcomer on the island.
You know what else is new? Glasses, you prehistoric hypocrites! So these rocks are the only reason the island has been hidden for so long, because it's basically able to absorb and deflect radio transmissions and satellites. Basically making this a dead zone, but this place has to be like 10 Chernobyls worth of radiation. You got glowing rocks that fuck with electromagnetic waves, keeping dinosaurs alive through the KT extinction, as well as evolving them so that they are sentient, bipedal, and able to talk. I don't get how a single living thing even exists here, let alone not look like a feral ghoul from Fallout. Once the sunstones stop glitching out, John sends the kids to go with Mara as she goes to pick out her own egg. John talks more with Albagon though, and he gives us a little bit of lore.
100 years ago, sunstones started going out on the island when Ugthar tried to usurp power. Its dark power could once again endanger all of Dinotopia.
Now this might just be me, but I think this is an okay way of getting some lore out of the way. It's not my favorite. I prefer show don't tell, or like, you know, letting the audience figure it out for themselves. Don't treat them like idiots, but for a kid's movie, this is fine. Now back to Tweedledee and Tweedledummer. They find the red gem again, and then once more fling it away, but this time into the one thing it shouldn't be near. How convenient that the stone just needed to be near the tomb to open it up. But this is our main villain, Ugthar, and clearly he comes from Asgard because bro looks like he scraps with Thor on the regular. Roga, however, believes this guy has more in common with a Disney musical than Marvel Comics.
It must be a genie. I have released you from your stony prison. I believe I'm entitled to 3 wishes.
Silence! You overstuffed gecko.
Brutal, but deserved, because how dare you compare Kevin O'Leary to Robin Williams? Heathen. Anyways, we learn about his history and how he and the other humans got shipwrecked on the island over 100 years ago. Dude hated everything about the island, including the dinosaurs, but then he found the Ruby Sunstone and immediately began power tripping with immortality and the ability to create an army of robot dinosaur mechs. But the dinosaurs, as well as the other humans, took him down, locked his ass underground, and hid the Ruby Sunstone away. So a lot to unpack here. First of all, it tells us that humans arrived on this island around 100 years ago, which in 2005 dates them to arriving around the turn of the century in the very early years of the 1900s. So I guess glasses in ancient Egypt aren't exactly modern for these guys, but that kind of fashion on the beach definitely is, so it does not get a pass. He also seems to be the reason why everyone isn't too fond of modern ideas and toys, which makes sense since he's shoving shit centuries ahead of what was modern for 2005 down the throats of people who just missed the first radio broadcast. Finally, whoever was in charge of hiding the Ruby Sunstone is a fucking lobotomite. If you want something to never be found again, don't make a map to find it, especially not a map that's easy to read for 2 Class A stooges. Smash that shit! Throw it in the volcano! Something other than this lazy-ass attempt. Ugthar then persuades the dipshits into helping him conquer the island, and tasks them with finding dinosaur eggs so he can raise an army of loyal servants. Doesn't that basically make him a groomer? Well, I need a break from this evil shit, so let's see what the heroes are doing.
Step right up! Pick an egg, any egg. I got fat ones, I got flat ones, I got tall ones, I got small ones.
Imagine if adopting an actual kid was like this. So Mara picks an egg, and to everyone's shock, she goes with the pastel pink one, because gender norms and conservative viewpoints go hand in hand. John and Albagon decide to head to the capital of Dinotopia for some kind of HOA meeting about the Sunstones. And I'm sorry, but why are those dinosaurs not like the rest? Like, John has 26, the Triceratops as a daughter pet thing, but also a Triceratops mount? Like, is that gonna be 26's job when she gets bigger? Is she gonna lose the ability to talk when she's bigger? Something just ain't adding up here, and I mean, if you don't want me asking these questions, movie, don't present them.
I'm gonna be so good at taking care of the hatchery, you may be out of a job when you come back. 26's hatchery! Definite ring to it, don't you think?
Girl, dial it back. You are doing way too much here. The paycheck could not have been that big. It's a Hallmark movie. Anyways, the adults put 26 of all people in charge of the place, go to the meeting, and... Really, Hallmark? You think we wouldn't notice the obvious copy and paste job you put into this scene? I can see this one guy in exactly 5 different places and 3 others with minor differences. Last I checked, cloning was well beyond modern ways. While the adults are practicing cell division, the kids decide it's time to dick around.
Mara, grab a broom and sweep out the loft. Kex, mop the kitchen and hallways. And while you're doing that, I'll go jump on the beds!
2 hours later.
What the fuck did these monsters get up to? And what are those stains? After a night of what can only be assumed as pure debauchery, the kids wake up to Mara screaming about losing her egg. Didn't even have that thing for a full 24 hours before losing it. But it actually wasn't her fault, because in the night, prehistoric Lloyd and Harry came in and snatched them all for Mr. Wonderful's sinister desires. On the bright side though, all the eggs got adopted, and in the end, isn't that the goal of all orphanages? Get every kid a home? I see this as an absolute win. But obviously, the kids have to go get the eggs back, so they too leave the orphanage, but who's in charge now? Because earlier they showed this place not having just eggs, but infant-born dinosaurs. Did 26 place someone else in charge? Is there someone else to even be put in charge? They showed this dino earlier on, but we never see him again, so what's happening with that? After a montage of walking, seeing questionable sights, and some Bugs Bunny levels of dicking around, our heroes catch up to the dim-witted egg thieves.
Then I say it's time for a little Thrash and dash.
That sounds nice and violent.
Jesus, this girl's such a prude. Chica, they kidnapped dozens of infant children. Be as violent as you damn well wish to be. Anyways, Kex has the idea to put his skateboarding skills to their advantage, and he kicks on the same fucking song again.
Look out, fossil heads!
What's that stupid kid up to?
3. This makes 3 times. This song was used to show Kex skating. And all 3 times, it doesn't actually fit with the scene. After Kex's plan was masterfully executed, no thanks to Mara 26 by the way, he then gets himself into a bit of a quicksand problem and panic ensues. In 2005, we still believed quicksand was going to be a bigger problem than it actually is. So I understand why they were freaking out, but hindsight's 2020, dude's already at the limit anyways before he would start to float, so I don't know why everyone was freaking out. Take the eggs and run. This issue though gives Beavis and Butthead a chance to run away with the eggs, but they end up dropping one, and I wish this moment didn't happen. Because now we have to suffer. Remember how I said I'd give you a warning? Warning!
Mama! Feed me! That's your milk.
Pause. Now, I blurred this last bit out because I am a firm believer that censorship should only be used to save people from emotional distress. I'm sure the folks who watched Two Girls, One Cup back in the day would have appreciated that. But for context, the little blue guy is suckling on 26's nose as if it were a teat, and then sucks out the mucus from her nose, getting it all over his mouth and face and her face as well. This character's name is Spaz, voiced by Jamie Kennedy, who has appeared in some of the Scream movies as the character Randy Meeks. Spaz, though, is not the only character of his kind, as so many children's movies have that one character that has the sole purpose to be loud, obnoxious, and do all sorts of wacky things in order for the kids to want to keep paying attention. The downside, though, is that children are sponges and will copy what they see, especially if they think it's funny, which is damn near everything. And now parents have to deal with this headache long after the movie is over. Now, in a vacuum, this kind of behavior is relatively easy to take care of. You tell a kid to knock it off. But combine characters like this with the overabundance of overstimulating kids content, as well as the, to put lightly, lack of drive parents are having with raising their children nowadays, and you can start to see where some problems might arise. And this shit is tame compared to some of the crappy content that's out now, though I imagine it has less snot in it. So now that the true subject of this video has arrived, let us continue, shall we? Spaz says he knows where the eggs are going, even though he was just born mere minutes ago, but with no other leads, the group decides to trust the crack baby.
I'm gonna stay up all night. This place is gonna be party central. I'm putting in a disco ball. I'm gonna turn the bass so loud, it'll practically give you a heart massage while you dance. And if the neighbors complain, you guys can kiss my shiny.
Kill me. Kill me now. Now it is morning, and we see Rolga and Thud fucking up a rope bridge and pissing off the derpiest looking T-Rex you will ever see. That actually looks real painful. But now with the bridge all fucked up and Rexy even more pissed off, our heroes need to find a way across the canyon.
If I had some dynamite, we could blow the canyon up and run across the rubble.
I think when you have ideas like that, you should talk a lot less.
Hold on now, let the man cook. I mean, his last plan would have worked perfectly if the quicksand myth didn't exist.
I'll show you a 100% natural way to get across that canyon.
It's like listening to Two-Face hype himself up in the mirror with this girl. You want Dinotopia to stick to traditional values, but you love all natural solutions to stuff. Hell, I'd probably be a tight ass like her too with all that fence sitting she's doing. So they ride the bubble over the canyon, but skin isn't exactly known for its durability, and that shit bursts quick. So much for all natural.
Nice landing, nature girl. What's next?
Is that motherfucker skipping? What the hell is going on? And don't think I didn't notice that stupid looking grin, Mara. All natural. You know what else is all natural? Pig shit. You don't see me going around telling people that's good moisturizer though. But the gang runs and hides into a big ass fossil with basically no other solution out of this mess.
Just give me a minute to come up with something.
Oh no, forget that. We are not listening to any more of your crazy ideas.
This bitch! I don't care if it's a child. She's acting like a real bitch right now. While the humans bicker and Spaz commits the crime of existing, 26 takes some initiative and removes the splinter from the T-Rex's mouth, as well as gives him some ointment. This movie reminds me so much of modern YouTube content geared towards children. So many sound effects every single second, and color grading that only exists to keep kids' attention. But now the T-Rex is pacified. Yay! Kex then has a bit of a crash out about the whole adventure, and honestly, pretty reasonable all things considered.
I'm going back to the outside world, where a bad day for me is when the orphanage kitchen is out of chocolate-covered donuts.
Well, don't think it's been a party, 2-6.
The fuck's your problem, you Barney reject? 26 is now sad that the group's all pissy and she's still beating herself up for the eggs getting stolen. The T-Rex then gives her a pep talk about how cool being a dinosaur is, so she should be able to take charge of the situation.
You're a dinosaur, aren't you? I mean, you're a small one, but you are a dinosaur. Dinosaurs are the most powerful creatures to ever walk the earth. Remember, you are a dinosaur, and there's nothing you can't do.
Not sure if he's making an apt comparison considering she's a baby triceratops and you're an apex predator. Stop with the sound effects. Someone take away their frickin' soundboard. So 26 tells everyone to cut the shit, and even though Mara looks possessed in this moment, I assume she was listening too because the T-Rex takes everyone to the volcano lair. Of course it's a fucking volcano. Everyone just wants to be Dr. Evil now, huh?
Thanks.
Good luck, 26.
I'm sorry. You're not gonna bring along the giant killing machine? Really? Either way, they enter the lair and see the dimwits with Ugthar and the eggs.
What are those things?
Those are dinosaurs, duh. See, I knew bringing Power Rangers up at the beginning would pay off. I got the psychicness. Ugthar, though, uses this moment to go over his evil plan of taking over Dinotopia again. And I feel like I need to ask some questions here. First, what exactly is this ruby sunstone? This is the second time it's acted like a crystal ball, but it was also able to unlock his tomb, and he mentioned earlier how it gave him immortality and helped him make the mechs. Is this just some sort of catch-all prop to move the narrative along? Because it kind of feels that way. Second, I don't think he spent all those decades locked away cooking up an actual plan of revolution. So you're just gonna storm the Capitol, destroy it completely, and then you win? You think this is a game of capture the flag? But the eggs are hauled into this crazy looking machine powered by the sunstone that's supposed to shoot a bunch of HGH into the eggs and make them grow to maturity in a matter of hours. At least I know now that Ugthar doesn't take them young, which makes me feel better about the guy. I mean, he's still a creep, but like regular Law and Order, not SVU, you know? The kids come across the Dinozords and 26 comes up with an absolute stunner of an idea.
Kex, do you think you can drive one of these things?
You know I can.
Oh, please, you just asked him because he's modern. What, do you think all us modern folk ride mechs around? Let alone 12-year-olds? And of course he's gonna say yes either way, because if he says no, you're not gonna let him play with the damn thing.
Hey, I'm flying!
Too many sound effects. Too many. It's too many. It's too much. I didn't know there was a limit to how many sound effects you could put in a movie, but they found it. But with the mechs powered up, the gang storms in to save the eggs.
We can't fit through that little doorway.
Wanna bet?
Whoa, thunder! Howdy, neighbor!
Western movie tropes are too modern, guys. Ugthar, though, doesn't take this lightly and whips out his pristine, high-powered swivel cannon with infrared scope. What in the time-traveling hell is going on here?
Say cheese.
What?
Yo, Chris Kyle. Think you missed your opening there. But the lair is falling apart now, so the kids finish rounding up the eggs as well as the sunstone and book it.
We did it! We saved the eggs!
Girl, you got like 5 yards out the door of the bad guy's lair. You haven't saved shit yet. And lo and behold, I was right because Ugthar comes back with a fucking scorpion mech. 26 then lures him away from the eggs with the sunstone while he sends the morons to get the eggs.
I'll take care of that irksome scaly myself.
New slur unlocked.
Oh, now it makes sense. They left Rexy behind so that when he came in this moment, we'd all be like, oh, yeah, he's back, woo! It didn't work for me, but, you know, I can respect the attempt. He didn't finish the job, though, so bit of a letdown in that department. Back with the kids, Kex manages to put his pro skater moves to use one last time and knocks the goons into quicksand. Now, in this case, quicksand definitely could kill you. We then cut to 26. Again, a lot of fucking cuts in this. And they are at the top of the volcano, and she is about to chuck it in, like it should have been in the first place. A scrap then ensues before the cliff gives out, sending Ugthar into the volcano, cackling with the sunstone in hand. Fucking Gollum here found his new precious, I guess. John shows up at the mountain after some scout mentioned seeing them there earlier, and he's nothing but proud of everyone, especially Kex, because now he gets to pick his own egg.
Which egg would you choose, Kex?
Huh?
You've earned the honor.
Damn right he did. Little dude did a lot more than your own daughter on this one. And full disclosure, I'm making fun of her not because she's a girl. It's because she's a conservative. But Kex picks out an egg, and now the kids are basically parents 6 years before they are legal adults. Gross. And that's the end of it. Movie over. I think I learned my lesson from the last Rant review by cutting out a lot of the fat that I did not actually need to talk about or bring up, because there was a lot of it in this one. I tried narrowing it down to the bare bones because I struggled getting through it. This could have been a lot better if the over-the-top characters weren't over the top. Also, if they didn't use soundboards as a crutch for comedy, because this movie wasn't really that funny to begin with. Not saying there weren't jokes. There were, but they were kind of bland, outdated, just dumb. Like, I think the only genuine laugh I got out of this is when Thud called Roga a man, but only because I thought of the Lorax, which is an actually funny movie. Also, don't get me started on the frickin' snot thing again. That's supposed to be a funny moment, first time meeting this character, and they used mucus to do it. But all the sound effects they added too, it doesn't elevate the comedy, it just adds noise to it. When writing the script, I was having a lot of trouble focusing as I was going along, and probably because of the overstimulation I was getting watching it. Because when I write these scripts, I'm constantly replaying clips back to make sure I'm quoting things right or I'm describing it right. And watching it that much, that in depth, drained me. And I had to do the same thing for the other Rant reviews I've done, but this one specifically was a chore to get through. Anyways though, that is the end of this video. I tried to keep it shorter. Hopefully it ends up shorter in the end. What's my runtime down here? I don't know what it says. I can't read the future. But if you like this video, you should give it a like. And if you really like it, you should subscribe, because then you can be alerted to when the next one will show up. Next video is about two unlikely friends going on a wild adventure. Sounds generic, I know, but I actually kind of like this film, so maybe I won't roast the shit out of it like I have the past couple movies. But until then, stay tuned, and for now, peace.